Hi there. Here's two ideas for today for ChatGPT. One thing I've been fooling around with is doing simulations. You can use ChatGPT to simulate almost anything, but you've got to give it data for it to do an analysis. And it'll do just pure, straight uh, numerical analysis of some data, but we'll also give you some, not objective completely, but some subjectivity in ways to improve a model. Let's say you give it a business, talk about its expenses and profit and ways to and losses. Ask it for ways to improve the books on a business like that, and it'll give you a pretty good list. So basically, a simulation is something that it'll do, but you have to give it enough information for it to uh, know what you're talking about and know what kind of response you're looking for. Um, I'd like to be able to do. A simulation of a business, starting a business. You could use that. Students could use that as an example. And again, many of you already use that in a classroom as a learning tool. Start a business, talk about the price or cost of your goods or your expenses, your sales, your marketing, your costs, and then and let them run a company like that and simulate it that way. But ChatGPT can obviously do the same thing, but faster, and give the student lots of suggestions for ways to improve the business. So I haven't done any other simulations on it besides that, but I imagine you could do scientific ones pretty easily as well. But again, you have to be knowledgeable enough to give it the right information and data for it to start off. And the second one is really let's talk about basically art, not visual art, but let's talk about the language arts, writing, poetry, music, songs, stories, creative writing. I don't think I don't think anybody really wants to uh, get ChatGPT started as a writer and start publishing stories that come out of ChatGPT. I mean, you've all probably read some of these by now, and they're pretty boring, pretty boilerplate kind of stuff. But you can use that as a starting point, as a prompt. If you give it a personality, a character, a couple of characters, talk about the ways they might interact, give ChatGPT their ages, their locations, something about their demographics or their interests. It can create some pretty good starting point scenarios that a writer, somebody needs a starting point, could use. And I wouldn't shy away from using that as an assignment for a student to say, give ChatGPT five characters and say, what kind of story might you create with these characters, or give me five examples of stories you might create, and then let the student do the writing themselves, right? So give them a starting point. Remember, the students uh, who hate writing, who are bad at writing, usually say, "I don't like to write." The thing they hate the most is starting. So give them a nice starting point. Same thing goes for songs and poetry, screenplays even. Use it as a starting point. Use it as a basic template for something, or as an idea generator, and it'll do a pretty good job. Songs, especially, I found that I can write. It'll write a song about almost anything, with a verse, a chorus, and a bridge. Uh, Melodies and chord charts are a little harder to do, and it'll do chord charts for a guitar, but melody is very tough to get a melody out of ChatGPT. You gotta have a pretty good working knowledge of music and music software technology to get something like that started. But for a lot of students, that'll be a great starting point to have. You could ask it to write a type of chord progression, and it'll give you that. So two things for today: simulations and for artistic endeavors in the language arts. Great working with ChatGPT. Okay, thanks for watching. More to come. Bye bye.